the issue of coalition has been overhyped by especially the media, I'm sorry to say. And first of all, let me say that this current coalition, as it is by individuals, has nothing to do with the People's Democratic Party. The People's Democratic Party is not in any coalition. We are not unaware that a few individuals or some individuals within the People's Democratic Party are in the coalition, are joining the coalition, and still counting. But the PDP as an organization, as a platform, is a standalone party or platform as it is today. And I can tell you this for free, that the party is not contemplating joining any coalition for now. But let me also make this very clear, that there are some individuals within the various political parties, whether it is PDP or it's SDP or it's APC or it's NNPP, name them, there are individuals from these political parties that have decided to form a coalition. I think we better get it very clear. A distinct coalition of individuals as distinct from a coalition of political parties. And those individuals have chosen the African Development, the Democratic Congress, African Democratic Congress, as their vehicle. So it has nothing to do with other political parties as it is now, but individuals from all the other political parties are in there. And let me also make it very, very clear here. I joined the People's Democratic Party in 1998 at its formative year. And so I think I am qualified to see myself as a founding member of the PDP. I was one of the first set of persons elected on the platform of that party, precisely on December 8, 1998. Local government elections were conducted across the country. I contested to be chairman of my local government, Okpoku Local Government Council in Benue State. And I won. I was eventually sworn in on May 29th, 1999 as the executive chairman of Okpoku Local Government. And at various times, I became the chairman of the local government, either as caretaker chairman or as an elected chairman. And I was the Argon chairman of Benue State within this period. And that is how I have come along with the PDP. I have never defected to another party. I have never joined another party. And as I'm talking to you now, I'm a bona fide member of PDP. I'm not joining any coalition. I have not joined any coalition. I don't intend to join any coalition. And quite frankly, I think that we should approach Nigeria with a serious mind of electing people who are prepared to govern this country for the people of Nigeria. I think it is inappropriate to begin to take decisions based on grievances, based on failed expectations, arising from frustrations of rising expectations. And so today, I want to encourage all of us to utilize existing platforms to run elections. I know that there are some limitations, there are some concerns about some of the policies of the present administration. I know that people are hurting. I know that people think that enough has not been done. But I think politics of gang up is not a solution to our problems. And so I think that if we are heading in the wrong direction, we should be able to trace our steps and head in the right direction. But how else do you want to characterize it? You call it coalition. I call it gang up. So, it's all about the same thing. It's all about people coming together against something. And that is what I say I take exception to. I don't believe that is the solution to the Nigerian problem. And let me remind you, we all have been here. At one point or the other, everybody that is aggrieved now, that is changing position, including immediate past ministers, including immediate past and serving senators, including immediate past and serving governors. Who can say today that is not part of the process that has brought us to this place? Who can say that? Like Jesus Christ said, let whoever is without a sin cast the first stone. And so we have all been here. One way or the other, all of us are guilty of one failure or the other, including myself. I can't beat my chest now and say that I have done enough for Nigeria or for my constituency. No. Those are the limitations that bring us to the part that we are here now. And so I think that we can join hands together to rebuild this country that we desire. And somebody said, you are not robust enough in your opposition and the rest of them. And I say, hey, all of us have our own tendencies. I believe in constructive opposition. I don't believe in these unnecessary confrontations that raise political temperatures without achieving any results. It is not very hard for me, I understand English, it's not very hard for me to say, impeach Mr. President, impeach Mr. President of the Senate, impeach everybody, remove everybody, let's start afresh. It's not hard for me to say. But is that going to provide a solution that we are looking for the myriad of problems that confront Nigeria today? So I want to believe that we must be constructive enough. Let us not heap the blame of where we are today on only one person, or only one system, or only one government. I think many of us in the process of building this country the way it is today are responsible for some of the problems that we have in this country today. And so I think that as patriotic Nigerians, we must come together to define where we want to go as a nation. Are you happy now that years after Ghana had experienced 50 years of uninterrupted electricity, that Nigeria is still grappling with 5 hours of electricity? Are you happy that you want to go to your village today and your vehicle will have to break down several times before you get there because of the deplorable nature of our roads? Are you happy that more than 80% of Nigerians today don't have access to drinking water? Are you happy with the dilapidated nature of our schools in our communities, that children still in the 21st century are sitting under trees to study? Is that what we're looking for as a nation? So these problems are there. But I'm saying that these problems were not created yesterday. They were not created today. They are as a result of years of neglect or refusal to do what is right. And so what do we do as a country? We must come together to work out a holistic approach to solving the problems confronting this country called Nigeria. That certainly is not an option. That we've been part of this government before that has brought us to this position. Therefore, you fold your hands to watch things further deteriorate. It's not an option. That is not my suggestion. Yes, you can say this. The PDP is in crisis. But I can tell you as of today that the crisis that you knew in PDP has simmered down, and there is some relative peace in PDP today. Is the APC, the ruling party, not in crisis? Because you are looking at the crisis in the opposition parties. You are not talking about the crisis in the APC. Only recently, the national chairman, inexplicably, very suddenly, resigned from being national chairman. Is that peace building? That is crisis, a signal of crisis. The NNPP has always been in turmoil, where the leader speaks from one side of the mouth, and the executive leaders of the party speak from the other side of the mouth. Just today, the Labour Party, led by Abure, is thinking about expelling its presidential candidate, the symbol of that party across this country. And am I the one to tell you that some persons have now taken ADC to court, that they have just come to seize their party, and that they are not even legitimate members of their party, the leaders of the party. And so it is the same malice, the malice in this country. It is not about one party alone. It is not about the opposition party alone. It is the general problem that we have. But let me tell you something for free here. Political parties may be in turmoil. Leaders of political parties may be drifting one direction or the other. But the Nigerian people are not drifting. They are where they are. So if the parties are not presenting credible opposition to government and policies of government, I can assure you that the Nigerian electorate are not unmindful of the predicament in which they found themselves, and that they are prepared to take the fight on their own, take their own destinies in their hands. And so don't take the electorate for granted. Don't think that because you are members of political parties and parties are in turmoil and are unable to solve the problems of the parties, that the electorate are not watching. The Nigerian people are watching the political parties and government. State creation is getting momentum across the various zones. And as I have said before, it is bad governance that has consistently led to agitation for state creation. If you look at the array of agitations for state creation, it is coming from those persons who, since the states were created, have not had access to governance. And because governance has become synonymous with "it is my turn," people who are waiting in the wings are also saying, our turn also should come. And then it is equally the same thing with the rotation of power that people are talking about. It's a bill that I personally sponsored. And it's for the stability of the polity. Because if you recall, in 2023, leading to the 2023 general elections, there were some acrimonies arising from the fact of where should the presidential candidate come from. And while a political party chose presidential candidate from the south, another formidable political party, the PDP, chose a candidate from the north in the belief that that will garner the necessary support and votes to make the person win. Of course, you have seen, like I said, it backfired. And PDP lost the election. And that led to the crisis that we have in PDP today. So the agitation for rotation of power and agitation for creation of states are all linked with the cry of marginalization, with the cry of neglect. So if governance has become a platform for tending towards the interests of only a particular unit, let also have our own states where we can determine our own destinies. That is the essence. That is the reason. The other antidote is let power rotate. Let all sectors of the polity have access to power. And of course, you want to recall that most state governments are agitating for state police. And my attitude to it is this: can state governments that cannot effectively fund vigilante groups in their states, can state governments that cannot fund adequately community policing in their states, can they be able to fund state police? And then you come to the issue of the fragility of our democracy, where instruments of power, like the army, the police, are used by governments in power to intimidate other political parties or other segments of the society. What guarantee do you have now that if you grant states the constitutional power to establish state police, what guarantee do you have that governors, as they are constituted now, will not use this state police against perceived or imaginary opponents. Those are the fears that we have. But like I said, all these issues have been canvassed, they will be sieved, and they will be brought to the National Assembly, the Senate to the Senate, and the House of Representatives that is following through very soon to the House of Representatives. And where there are any irreconcilable or if there are differences, we'll try to reconcile the differences and present Nigeria a document for the amendment of the Constitution that will satisfy the aspirations of the Nigerian people.